What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and let's get straight into things. So you can see that I've cleared my charts just because they were getting a bit messy, and as we're approaching this time of the week, first of all, we're in a consolidation on a daily time frame, so we need to take that into consideration. These are very difficult conditions. Second of all, as we're approaching interest rates tomorrow, I can only imagine the consolidation is going to get heavier until the interest rates themselves. And then Thursday and Friday is probably going to be the days I'm looking for nice setups, etc. But you'll see that Tuesday came right back on Monday, pretty much filling the entire of Monday's range. Now, if you remember at the beginning of the week, I was saying how I want to see when I enter the week and I'm expecting a bearish week, I expect the week to deliver like this. Create the high, create the low, and then retrace back into itself. Now, obviously, we traded lower on the Monday. However, I am still looking for that high to get created. So seeing this pullback on Tuesday isn't exactly frightening or anything. And also, I want to make sure that we're not chasing price. There's going to be a lot of people going long now. However, I do think this is just a part of the manipulation. And we need to view this simply as us getting back in on this rally. So what am I saying? Basically, although we got a nice pullback and we took out Monday's low, and we're pulling back on the range, I do still want to see us create the high pretty shortly in short term. So I'm going to be looking at this low and this high as a daily fair value gap, and I'm happy and looking for price to be trading into this moving into Wednesday. So let's get this delineated like so, and I'll just put daily fair value gap. And I'm looking for price again on Wednesday to trade up into that. However, I do want to find resistance at it. So I don't want to see it get traded through. And ideally, we only trade to the 50% level of it. However, as we drop down to the lower time frames, we should be able to home in on some nice PD arrays. But generally speaking, I'm looking for Wednesday to trade up into here. Let's drop down to the 4 hour, take a closer look at price. And you'll see this beautiful expansion to the upside. There is an imbalance right here, volume imbalance. However, you will see there's some relative equal highs above here. So I am looking at this high very specifically, as I do believe there's going to be some stops above there. And my laptop is lagging, which is not good. But nonetheless, I'm looking for that buy side liquidity to get traded to. And then ideally, I'd like to think that we can start to find some resistance once we are in that high premium and start thinking about potential shorts on the dollar. So let's drop down to the 1 hour, take a closer look. Beautiful delivery. We've got a low, high, lower low. You'll see that setup formed on the breaker high right here. If we drag this out, you'll see as price traded into there, that would have been a buying opportunity. Stop loss below there. And then again, we're targeting highs above consolidation, which is why I want to see price draw up into here. Obviously, this imbalance we do have to pay close attention to. Ideally, we trade through it. And don't get me wrong, if I was to have gone long there, I would have let off some of my position at this point. That's how I'd be trading that if I was doing that. However, nonetheless, I do want to see a continuation again, and only after we reach that high premium am I thinking about, you know, potential shorting opportunities, etc. So yeah, quite an interesting day nonetheless. Where is the Sunday opening price? Let me take a look. So that is the Sunday opening price. So again, I'm looking to see, okay, can price even get up into above that, because that will mean that we're in a nice premium, assuming we are bearish. So let's get that delineated like so. And you can see our price is just hovering around there. Let's get to the 15-minute. And again, you can just see a beautiful expansion today and continuation. And there's no reason to expect any shorts until we've traded to some kind of imbalance or relative equal highs. And that's why I've got my eyes set on these relative equal highs specifically. And there is a nice imbalance in this very high premium. So it'll be interesting to see if price can actually reach all the way up there. So let's get that drawn out. And now let's head on to GBP USD. So similarly, we need to think about, okay, if we expect the dollar to continue rallying, that means we want to see if GBP can fall a little bit more, which is completely fine. Now, there isn't anything really here on the daily which is sticking out like a sore thumb to me, so to speak. However, this bullish order block right here, I do want to see if this acts as a reclaimed bullish order block. And that means that when price trades down into this range, it should act as a springboard in this range. So I'm going to be drawing this out, midpoint, mean threshold. Any lower than that, I'll be a bit suspicious, but I am looking for price to trade down deeper into this range, ideally, and then I'll be looking for potential setups so long as dollar's supportive of my bias. And what you'll see is that 50% level lines up gorgeously with this 4-hour bullish order block. So that's a nice confluence. Let's get that marked out as well. And if price, like I said, as price trades into this, I'll be looking very closely at the time and seeing, okay, is it likely that we're going to get a setup form in here, in which case we can potentially look for longs for the rest of the week. Because remember, our bias is bullish, so we should stick to that bias until proven otherwise. Yes, we've had beautiful expansion to the downside. However, this isn't necessarily a break in market structure. If we got below this low, I'd be a little bit more concerned and think, okay, now we need to start thinking about shorts. But unless that happens, I'm happy to remain bullish, purely because this is just a consolidation and price has a very strong habit of returning to consolidation. So that's something for you to study. But nonetheless, I'll be looking at this fair value gap down here as a nice discount for price. And then obviously I'll be seeing how price reacts once it gets to that point. But remember, it is interest rates tomorrow. Anything can happen, and there's only so precise we can be. Personally, I don't like trading Wednesdays with interest rates. I prefer the Thursday and Friday after it, just because it tends to move a lot smoother, and because of how late in the day that interest rates are announced anyway. And what you'll also find is that what might happen is we may get down here, and then on the announcement, price wicks, and it will wick both. You see this consolidation? It will wick both sides, so it'll go or other way, and then it will use it. But nonetheless, this range and the fact that consolidation is in there, we can use this as a nice, like buffer for price. So we're going to finish up on Euro USD. What's nice to see is how it's using this consolidation. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, you'll know that I was saying if price stays above it, I'm happy to be long. And then you can see how price completely broke through it to the downside and is now using it as resistance. Completely fine, supportive of our bias in terms of wanting to see dollar rally a little bit more. So I'm happy to see euro push on lower. Now what you'll find is that pounds been moving a bit quicker lower than euro is. So we might find that euro catches up with that tomorrow. And then where's the consolidation? Over here. So I'll be looking to see if euro can draw down into that. Nonetheless, let's remove the drawings, get to the daily and see if there's anything we can find. And voila, we have a beautiful fair value gap looking to get filled right here. Let's go to the 4-hour, take a closer look. And you'll see there's a nice bullish order block right there as well. So depending on how bearish price is, again, once it gets down into these PD arrays, if we're bullish, it should react bullishly. Simple as that. And don't get me wrong, what we may find is that tomorrow, the whole day tomorrow, we may be falling into this. Not until Thursday will we may not see the actual reaction away from it. So we need to be wary of that, especially with how late interest rates are announced. So these are all things to take into account, but I am looking at this range down here for price trade down into. But I do believe it's just a part of a little bit of manipulation this week to have everyone going short. And then remember, there's high impact news on Thursday and Friday, which I wouldn't be surprised if it just, flipped on itself again. So it's going to be quite interesting tomorrow. Nonetheless, I expect a lot of consolidation until the interest rates. And then what tends to happen after interest rates is it will just run straight into the Thursday quite aggressively too. So don't forget to smash subscribe, join the mailing list, drop a like, drop a comment, turn on post notifications because I will be posting tomorrow as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.